Hey, real quick, how is everyone affording anything right now? I feel like the prices keep going up and we just have to deal with it. If you want to buy tickets to the World Cup or Monsters Inc. on Ice, you got to deal with something called dynamic pricing, which is basically tech speak for pricing that fucks you. I know I'm tapping my credit card to iPads I should not be tapping it to because the total was always news to me. I spent $7 on delivery fees on soup dumplings last week. That same $7 could have bought me one cup of coffee in Soho. That's how bad things have gotten. And then you go on a streaming service to watch something. I'll stay at home, save some money, but all the streaming services have removed password sharing. They're like, are you traveling? We think you might be traveling. It's like, yeah, I am traveling between my girlfriend's apartment and my apartment. You got to honor that relationship. And then old people have the nerve to be like, what's wrong with the younger generations? They're not going out. They're not drinking. They're not getting laid. First of all, calm down, perverts. A beer is not 25 cents anymore. Cocktails start at $18. Mocktails are inexplicably $17. You can't tell me something called a phony Negroni should cost the same as a 10-pack of AA batteries. And I think what annoys me is the prices keep going up. The wealthier among us can afford it, but the rest of us are just stuck in the goddamn casino. I know more people with Kalshi accounts, with Polymarket accounts than with 401ks. They're just trying to get rich on, predicting which foreign leader we're going to kidnap next. It's kind of bleak. Now, that being said, Cuba is the favorite, but I do think Denmark has really good value. And now, instead of taking you into the studio like I normally do, I'm actually on my way to get on the train to head to the courthouse because I have to serve on jury duty. That's right, jury duty. I don't even hate it, but when you tell your friends you got called for jury duty, they act like it's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. They're like, oh, Jesus Christ, you got to find a way to get out of it. They act like at the end of the trial, one of the jurors is randomly selected to be executed. I'm like, I'll be fine. I think I'll survive. They're like, here's what you got to do. You got to just tell the judge you're a racist. I'm like, I'm not pretending to be a racist just to get out of 3 to 4 days sitting in an air-conditioned room. I think I'll survive. It says a lot about society that our biggest fear is being trapped in a room for 3 days without our phone, having to listen to a stranger talk. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'll find out pretty soon if I actually have to serve on a jury, and I don't mind doing it. And hey, next week you'll find out what happened. This is the first comedy podcast with a cliffhanger. We're trailblazing. Anyway, this episode you're about to listen to, the guest is a brilliant author, a kind soul. Her book, Easy Beauty, is a wonderful memoir that I recommend everyone read and have on their shelf. I'm blessed to call her my friend. It's Chloé Cooper Jones. Enjoy the conversation. Today's Friday, May 15th. You're about to listen to a podcast, and I'm about to walk into a courthouse. So that actually does sound like a lot.
Holy shit, man, it's too much news. You keep on scrolling, you'll get the blues. Just take a break here, don't feel distraught. We'll try to make it funny, cause that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot.
What do you got here?
I brought.
I was gone for 2 seconds and you materialized.
I was like, I want to leave you something.
A lock?
Well, I'm going to give you a choice. I had in
what
my
options?
I had in my bag my swim goggles, which I was like, you really don't want those.
I kind of want.
Oh, you kind of okay.
Well, I think of the goggles. I have like a very solid memory of you with the goggles of being at that lake.
Well, you and I have done some swimming together, so actually that
we almost witnessed a drowning. How did you feel when we thought the kid might drown?
We got to go swimming in that lake against it. Okay, so
ready.
I went through my bag.
Great bag, by the way.
Thank you. It's Wolfgang. But
Swim
you don't need
goggles.
that. But then you have swim goggles. But then I also was like, maybe nobody wants somebody's used swim goggles on their shelf. So then I thought I'll offer you also my swim lock for my locker for when I swim at the YMCA.
I kind of like. I like the goggles more than anything else.
The goggles hold a lot of meaning for us.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. But I'm thinking where we could put them.
But I think it should be.
Yeah, toss it there for now.
Toss it there for now.
Just
okay.
sitting above
all
your
right,
head the
I'll
whole
keep
time.
my lock.
No one else will really have that. It'll be special to your episode. Also, thank you for bringing. I have to use quotes, gifts, but it's really nice.
It's loose.
Yeah,
it's loose.
We're really stretching the definition of what a gift can be.
But it's exciting.
It is
because even I
exciting.
didn't know what I brought you.
Oh, sure.
So just right now. You
live a lifestyle that's so interesting to me. I pretty much always know what's in my bag. Like I don't pull out.
You do?
I don't pull out swim goggles. There's a laptop, a hat, sunglasses and some
Okay,
cough
but
drops
you're probably better at. I was just telling Rebecca this. You're probably better at transferring things
from bag
than
to
I
bag.
am
Yeah,
from bag to
yeah.
bag.
I'm not a mother. I'm not a.
Yeah.
You have people that you need to be bringing things for.
Yeah, and I'm traveling a lot.
You're going upstate to Brooklyn a lot.
Yeah, so I'm
That's
not.
not
If
me.
something lives in one bag, I'm not great at transferring it, which is how I've lost like many sets of keys, many sets of sunglasses, things like that.
Yeah,
So-
no. There's like 2 bags in my life. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I've got my tote. I've got like a slightly bigger tote. And
But
so-
if I have everything I need in my bag, if I have like my charger, my laptop, my swim goggles,
Sure.
which now I've lost, but that's fine.
you don't mind if I keep them?
No, I'd like
That's
you
so
to keep
fun.
them.
We should talk about the time we were up there and we went swimming together. Was that Maddie's birthday, right?
Yeah, that was a weekend full of misadventure, if
That
you
was
remember.
where we locked the dog.
That's sweet of you. That's really nice.
I was telling Rebecca about that situation.
Did you say we to Rebecca or did you
I said
say
we.
Chloe?
I think I said we. I
That's
think
the kindest. That's like.
I take 10% blame because we
What?
were all talking and you kind of forgot what you were doing. Maybe we were
Being
lost
really
in a riveting
generous.
conversation. And
Well, it is one of my favorite things that's happened to in our friendship because it's like
it was one of the funniest things ever. I think about it a lot.
Okay, so we went to a little farm stand near my house. It's my husband's birthday, and I was wanting to buy a pie, and my dog was with us, and we'd had like several misadventures. Like I think I was like late getting you from the train or something, and then we were
Yeah.
trying to go somewhere else.
We had to go
and
get
kept-
Tyvek wrap, so we had
Oh
that.
yeah, we had to go to Tyvek. We had to go to Home Depot.
Yeah, we went to
which
Home
is
Depot.
Just what you want to do with your friends when they come to visit you is immediately take them to get Tyvek.
Yeah, I felt like I was 12 years old again, like driving around with like my mom in the back of the car, like we're going to Home Depot and then we're gonna go pick up pies at the grocery. I was like, oh my god, and the dog was
I
going
know,
nuts
the dog
trying
was
to
like
get out of
going
the.
crazy. She's so excited. And then we go to this little farm stand. And here's the one thing I'll blame on you
Sure,
is
Mom is very sweet too.
when we got out of the car, there was a man at the farm stand who was just
Yeah, this
like,
part of the story I didn't tell her.
he was like, Matt,
Yeah,
how's it go, Matt? And
I'm shocked. I just yeah.
immediately was like, oh, one of Matt's best friends is here. Like some
Yeah.
long lost, because it was so personal.
Mhm.
And I've been with you many times where people have recognized you and said hi. And I feel like it always takes the same sort of tenor where it's sort of like a little sheepish,
A little apprehensive, a little like,
yeah,
do
like
you make videos?
very polite.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, my girlfriend's a really big fan.
You've
of
seen that
yours."
one.
Yeah.
You've seen that one, which is always tough. That's tough.
It's like, oh, my wife would never forgive me if I didn't
Yeah.
say hi to you.
I personally hate your shit, but
Yeah,
my wife,
I know.
like that, there's a subtext to it that maybe it's not that harsh, but it is. I'm so glad you got to witness one of those because that
Yeah.
happens way more than you would think. And it's like, it's not gay to compliment a man. Like,
I know.
it's-
To
And
be
if it
like,
is, that's
I-
not bad either. But it's like, I think it's always the straight men that want to tell me their girlfriend loves my stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, watch out, buddy. So what's going on? But no, anyway, sorry. So
But I think like even that day, like you told me like a priest stopped you guys like on
yeah,
your way
a priest
to the
that
train.
morning stopped me, which was hilarious. I was
So
like, oh.
I've been with you many times when people recognize you and it's
Mm-hmm.
always in that sort of mode. But this guy, the farm stand, shout out to Barthels.
Shout out to Barthels, one of the greatest. That guy was so helpful.
That guy was
Yeah.
but he was just like, my best friend, Matt. How are you? Like it was
Yeah.
really, that was the approach. So then I did get a little distracted by that, thinking that we
Yeah.
like were reuniting
Yeah.
with someone from Seneca Valley, perhaps.
from my high school.
From your high school, Seneca Valley.
No,
But no, it was just a really cool fan.
very cool, nice fan. But that is an atypical response to seeing me.
It seemed slightly, yeah. But
Threw
then,
me off too because I'm doing that thing that you probably do when someone from your life just knows you. But I was freaking out because I was like, oh God, I don't know this man.
Yeah.
And this guy clearly knows me. And I was like, this is like a guy I must have worked with or something. Like I was like, fuck. I was like, ah.
And when you see people out of context, it's impossible.
Totally.
And
We're
you
in the
see-
middle of
yeah.
we're at a
You-
farm
we're at a
stand.
farm
I was like,
stand
this is
in-
not.
in
Who are you?
Ellenville.
Yeah.
But then so I locked the dog in the. I locked the dog.
You locked the dog in the car.
I locked the dog in the car.
Hot
I
day.
locked everything in the car. But then we called my husband, who biked on a broken bicycle
Yeah.
and came and picked us up.
Yeah.
So that was all okay.
Do you remember what he was wearing? I do.
What?
So-
What was he
so
wearing?
your husband-
Something somehow he messed with because he's always sort of cutting
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
but
was
he did a little more than just cut it. Like he. So your husband is a friend of mine, Maddie. For the listener, went to high school with him. Good friend. Ran track together. Yada yada.
he comes flying down the street, and you were like tracking him. I remember.
Yeah, we have Find My Friends on, which I like. So I was tracking.
So we were
his
like
progress.
watching this phone. Dolly's like paws on the window. It sort of felt like, oh my God, someone do something. And meanwhile, Mr. Barthel was like,
He was
I
like,
can
"I'll
help
give
you
you a
guys out.
ride."
I'll give you a
Yeah.
ride. And we were kind of like, well, at this point, we think there's a man biking to save us, but we don't know. And so we see him getting closer, and he pulled up. And I remember he did a very cool like spin.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
he really
he
showed
came
up
in
his
like an
style.
action star, and his shirt just said "Trump ate your dog."
Oh yeah, Trump ate my dog.
Trump ate my dog, and I was like, and that was the first time I'd seen him that weekend. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I was like, what's going on here? But it
He
was
does
amazing.
that for all the races that he runs upstate. He always makes a shirt, and it's always very. He always like cuts like he'll he can't. I always joke he can't leave a piece of clothing alone.
Sure.
Which is why you should let him design maybe some of your outfits.
I
for
would
the
wear a
show.
Maddie designed outfit on
Yeah.
the show in a second.
But he won't like cut both sleeves. He'll like cut one sleeve illogically and then sort of like shred one and then paint on one side and then like put a sticker on it. So he has all these race shirts that all
Yeah.
have like he has one that's my favorite one is the Manosphere is death.
Yeah.
With a bullseye on it.
Yeah.
And so then but then he feels like when he wears those shirts he has to run really hard. And he has to win because you can't wear a shirt
There's
that
like
says
5 battles going on up here at all times.
you can't wear a shirt that says like the Manosphere is death or
And get
like
last
Trump's
place
and
at
then
the-
get
at the
last place.
charity
Yeah, you have
5K.
to. Yeah. You have
No,
to
Maddie's
really
a
beat
very
every.
gifted athlete, so I'm sure that's no problem. But
He does pretty well at these.
yeah, but I was just dying. Like, I think it was like that night. I was literally in bed in your home. Like, I started like giggling, and PJ was like, "What?" And I was like, "He rode that bike in the middle of nowhere, passing all these homes with a shirt that just said Trump ate
ate-
my dog." Like, I was like, "That is the craziest thing." Like, I was like, "That was the strangest like hour of my life."
He's fashion forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's something. Forward is yeah. But then later that day we went to what's the name of the lake near you guys?
Lake Minnewaska.
Lake Minnewaska. Can't recommend enough.
Best
Most
place.
beautiful little hidden park up there. I feel like
I think it's the best place in the world. It's the best lake.
It feels like you're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
It looks crazy. The trees, the rock kind of formations on the cliff sides, like it's beautiful. And we went swimming there, and
I'm already laughing
I
about
know.
this story, which is not funny.
no, it's not
but
funny.
it was.
But it's funny 'cause no one
so-
died.
Yeah, no one died. Everybody was. Okay.
everyone's
Yeah.
spoiler alert. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, nothing
but-
bad happened.
But we were like swimming there, and your other 2 friends were up there. They were very sweet, and there was like 6 of us there. Kind of just like it's like a little area buoyed to be like I don't know, like 100 square feet. Like it's not a
Yeah.
huge space.
Yeah.
And this one kid like kind of started like going under or something.
Well, I want to just say, like, as an important preface to this story, I really was very appreciative of you and PJ because this lake is really warm and it's really magical. And there's
yeah.
a sense in which, like, you get in and you're like, oh, I understand why there are so many centuries of like water cures. Like, I understand
yeah.
why there are people that are like, oh, you just go to like the right air and you'll be healed. Like, there is something about this lake. It's warm, it's a sky lake, so it's filled by rainwater instead of glacial water off the mountain. So a lot of lakes are really frigid. This one's really warm. And I feel like the 3 of us, Uni and PJ, were really
We were into it.
we were sinking into this lake. We were so happy.
It was like blissful. I think we kept
Yeah.
saying like, this is all I need. This is all I needed. Like
Yeah.
this heals me. And it sounds woo woo, but I really did feel that way. Like I remember being like, damn, I never like swim in a lake. Ever.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll go to the beach a few times a year or something, but like something special was happening. And I think we were all just like,
Totally.
like kind of like in a Zen state almost. It was,
Yeah,
it was something.
It was so beautiful and so happy. And I'm just like looking at our life and all of our friends. And it's my husband's birthday.
Yeah.
And the dog survived the previous disaster. And like
Yeah, the dog
everything
was
is good.
alive, yeah.
And then there's just this kid that jumped in the lake and seemed fine.
He was doing it all day. And
Yeah, he
then
was doing it all
I think
day.
he just got in his head. As it happens.
Yeah.
We've all been there. But that can't happen in the water. And then
But it's like, and yeah, so so he was fine. And then the lifeguard came out and got him. But I do think of like those moments as a child
Mm-hmm.
where like because I think he was always okay and the water was pretty shallow.
Yeah, it
But
was
there
like 4
are those
feet.
moments as a kid where you're like, uh-oh, like
Have I bit off more than I could chew? Yeah.
And like the sort of purity of that panic as a child.
Yeah. My big memory of that moment was it was like our kind of blissed out like backstroking was interrupted by like crazy amount of lifeguard whistles.
Yeah.
And I can still picture that like probably teenage girl in like the red lifeguard swimsuit with the little thingy, the like, I don't know what you call it, the floaty.
Yeah.
I can still picture her like running down the dock and us all being like, is something bad happening? And then we looked over and saw the kid and we're like, oh my God. And like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, for her, that was probably the most she's ever had to do at that lake. Like,
My big memory of her is that she had a sandwich, the lifeguard.
yeah, they're not working hard at this. Like, it's not a big deal.
It's a really chill little lake, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but she had a sandwich and she had to throw the sandwich. And then later I saw her get sort of chastised, like, you can't be snacking.
You can't be snacking when the kids are.
Yeah, when you're,
they need
yeah. But she was fine. Everybody was fine. It was very low key.
It was low key. It was good. That was a fun night too. We put that window in. I did next to nothing, but it was fun to be around.
Maddie likes to invite people over for hard labor.
For home improvement projects. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was there was some comedy to that too. I was thinking about like there's something so funny. What do you think it is about these moments where you're doing something different with people you don't always see that lends to like comedy? Because I feel like when we were trying to put that window in, I could not stop laughing about the stupidity of it all. It was like three guys were trying to like hold this heavy thing up.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we knew the stakes were like, like the man who was outside, which was me a little, it was Ben another time.
Yeah.
The man who was holding this giant window up that we were trying to install, if they kind of screwed up, one, the thing could have fallen and broken, and that would have been its own disaster.
Yeah.
But we were on like a slanted roof. Like there was that element of danger that made it funny to me. I was like, this is so silly that we're doing it this way. But
It's very Maddie to put his friends in, in mortal danger. He actually, I was like, I'm leaving to go, hang out with Matt. And he was like, I'll be on the roof while you're, right now he's on the roof probably, messing with the Tyvek that we bought.
yeah, he's a lot braver than me.
He's really brave to a questionable degree. But I don't know, I feel like this is sort of I wonder if you would call this like a guy thing.
I think
where
somewhat.
there's like a way in which men can access like a deep humor or bond or like release that humor often gives you only through the act of perilous activities.
Yeah, I think so.
Like I think
gallows
PJ and
humor
I just
kinda.
read a book and like looked at each other and talked.
Yeah,
I think like that was
yeah.
more our, like we can really get to that place maybe just literally on the couch.
Yeah.
But I think, because you
I
and-
think I can too. That's
No,
the
you
problem.
can,
Is
you
like I think
can.
that's like where I want to live.
I know.
Like I remember when I went up there, Maddie's like, "Is there anything you want me to teach you while we're up here?" And I was like, "Teach me." I was like, "I want to just read a book and sip a beer," and that's like a perfect night.
I know. You were like, I'm a pearl. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I was like, "I'm a pearl." I'm a pearl, and and I have to pretend I want to put windows in. I'm like,
Yeah, I know. Well, you and Maddie have that. That's like the basis of your friendship in a way, because, which is actually the basis of most of Maddie's friendships. Like the way that I understand, you can tell me if this is wrong.
Go for it.
The way that I understand your bond, initial bond, at least, you went to high school together. You both ran cross country.
Yes.
You were friends, but not like best friends.
Not terribly close, yeah.
And then he was sort of like, should we just go to France right now?
That's right.
And you were like, all right.
Yeah.
And then you went to France with like no money, 8 baguettes, but then just ran
Yeah, we ran
a
a
lot.
Yeah.
Like you would take a train somewhere, get off the train, and just like run 18 miles with no plan.
Yeah, we ran
Yeah.
to the beaches of Normandy together. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
they just like let's just get
But
on
that
a train
wasn't
and
like
run
like
to
when we
Norm.
talked
Yeah.
about going to France. It wasn't like and
That
then
wasn't the plan.
No.
That Maddie sprung that one on you.
Well, it was like it's good. It sounds so crazy because like I'd never been to. That was the first time I've ever been out of the country, and it definitely wasn't for Maddie. I don't think, but like. He was like, "I'm doing this trip. If you want to come," and I had no interest in like, I've never taken a French class. But I think that's why we connect because we're like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing comedy at the time, but I think even back then I was like, oh, this will be something. Like something will come of this that I'll still talk about it 20 years later or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, we ran the whole reason we went to Bayeux and we wanted to go see the beaches where the D-Day invasion happened. But they were done. We got there so late that they were done with the with like the shuttles or whatever transportation they had from this very small town down to the beach. And it was like 6 miles, I want to say, maybe a little more. And Maddie was like, let's just run it. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I remember that was like the hardest I ever ran because he just kept like yelling on the way back of like, you can do it. And I was like, oh my God. And it's like sunset in this beautiful French countryside. And we're just the only two people out there. It was beautiful. Like I still think about that.
Yeah,
run.
you'll now say that's like a top, 3
Yeah.
run or something that you've ever done.
Definitely top 3. Maybe
Which then
top.
he made you do another hard run when you come to visit us.
Yeah.
It's not just labor. He's like, let's go run uphill really hard
Yeah.
at the,
We both love the same things, but I think for very different reasons. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we
but-
approach our lifestyles differently, but we so enjoy the same activities and the same like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just the interests.
But
of
I
it all.
think this is one of my favorite things about you. And I feel like when you meet somebody, you recognize this really quickly in them. And it's certainly my favorite thing about Maddie, although Maddie can get us into some intense situation, is like Maddie's always down.
Always down is the best energy.
He has the most intense energy toward yesness.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that intense, and he always thinks he has and he's right, he's always right, that he has like the energy and the intelligence and the sort of strength of will to turn that yes into a reality, no matter what it is. So he's the kind of person that will be like, should we, swim and run 10 miles and get on the roof and install a picture window.
Yeah.
By the way, I've never installed a picture window before,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure we can figure it out. We have to do it by sundown. Otherwise, we're going to, but like
That
we
was the
can
thing
probably
too. Yeah,
do
I remember
it.
you girls picked up pizza.
Yeah.
And you came back and we were all, you're like, how's it going up there? And I'm like, sweating bullets. I'm like, I'm holding the window. I don't know. I was like, it fucking sucks. I was
Yeah.
like, I would love to come have a slice.
I was like, you'll figure it out, boys.
yeah. There's something so, and I don't mean in like a sexual way, but there's something so attractive about people that are that way
Yeah.
because you go, oh, I don't know what we'll get into, but I know, it'll probably be okay. It'll
Probably
be
gonna be,
okay, and
yeah.
we'll probably like learn something, or we'll get a laugh out of it that night, or like it's like I feel like I talked about it some other episode with someone here of like I feel like we avoid friction so much in our lives now because it's so easy to with technology, and just especially when you live in a place like New York, you have so many things at your fingertips, and all the best experiences in my life have come from me being like, this is going to kind of suck. Like
Yeah.
what I'm about to do might suck a little, but then it almost always something comes through and something shines through and I learn something, or I have a different level of empathy for something or someone. And I'm like, I just feel like, I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, do you think where we're living now, it's like way more frictionless and people are avoiding it on purpose? Or do you think it's the kind of thing that people need to like throw themselves into more?
I think it's so, yeah. I mean, I think there's a million ways in which we can make our lives, especially if you have any resources at all, like make our lives as frictionless as possible. We become like, I think for very good reasons, pretty psychologically avoidant of various different frictions in our lives. And I think that I have like a lot of empathy for that in many ways. I think there's just like so many ways in which our energy gets drawn out of us that if we need to like create sort of pockets of rest or pockets of like boundaries in order, like I think a frictionless, I think aspects of frictionlessness are fine and maybe are part of like the rest we need in order to do the things we care about. I think it's always like understanding those sort of boundaries. I mean, I wonder for you along these lines, like I think I'm really oriented toward the yes. And I really want, I think part of what you're saying that's attractive about it is like, I really want to be alive. I really love like the vitality of life. I like it in all of its iterations. And I think that the tipping line for me is like when saying yes to so many things becomes a way of like avoiding choices to make certain types of like important progressions in my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where it's like you spread yourself so thin because it's like, oh, I want to see that play and I want to eat at that restaurant.
Yeah, it's a
and I wanna
balancing
go.
act of.
Yeah. And I mean, for you, like this point in your career, you're probably having to say no far more than you're having to say yes to things. You're having to make like really hard choices of like, how do you like streamline what you actually really want to do? Like, how are you making that?
It's like, it's less like I have to say no to a lot of things, and it's more of like sometimes when I really think about it, I'm like, why am I saying yes to the things I'm saying yes to?
Mm-hmm.
And because there's certain things you sort of feel like, oh, and I'm sure you've had this with your career as a writer and it's like you could write a million assignments for different magazines if you wanted to this year. You could do like you are someone who people would want to hire to do a million different jobs, whether it's teaching or, and you kind of, I mean, you can tell me how you make those decisions, but like for me, it's like, I don't know. I'm always thinking like, what makes sense for Matt to do right now?
Yeah.
And lately the compass is fucking loopy. Like I really don't know. Like this, I knew I always wanted to do something like this, but I didn't like set out to be like, and then you're going to turn this age and this will be the thing you do.
Yeah.
And it's like, that to me is something I still wrestle with as far as like, I never really feel like I mean, I'm very happy to be doing this. I'm very happy to be here, but like, I never fully feel like I'm making the right decision with my career ever. I'm just kind of like going where the wind blows and I'm trying to have a good time and make it funny. But it's hard. Like, I don't know.
Did you have a rigid compass at some point? Like when you were really young, were you like, oh, I'm definitely going to accomplish X thing?
I think by the time I was in college, I knew I wanted to do like comedy stuff, but it wasn't like you have to be on SNL or like there wasn't like a specific property associated with it. It was always like kind of vague. You know what I mean? Did you know you always wanted to write?
Yeah, I just wanted to write.
Didn't you have like sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
Didn't you have like a letter you wrote your mom that you were telling us about?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes.
Do you want to talk? We don't have to talk about it.
We can talk about it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. This
You like
letter
knew
is
you wanted
really...
to be like, or it was like you were, sorry, just tell us.
No, it's, yeah, I mean, I think in some ways I feel as though I've had a very fixed personality like my whole life. Like I think I've been like nearly exactly this forever. And like this letter that I wrote to my mom when I was 14, which I read some of it to you when we were having dinner recently, was like, I just, and my son is 14 now. So I'm really thinking about, I can really see firsthand what it looks like to be, 14-year-old. I'm looking at my son all the time. And in this letter to my mom, it's just like, I figured out that the secret to school is just like, be really happy. And I'm just so happy. And I'm studying Japanese and it's great. It's really hard. And I'm studying Shakespeare. I took a Shakespeare class and it's so difficult. But and part of this is I went to high school away from my mom for a little while. So I was writing to her about what I was doing in school. And I was just like, it's all so focused on like being happy, learning as many things as possible, like and writing. Yeah, I always wanted to write. I sort of knew that from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's I can't relate to having it all figured out back then. Like I think my personality's been pretty similar as I've grown up, but yeah, I think that's lovely to like want to pursue all those things at that age and be understanding at such a young age that like this is what it's all about, like trying to understand new things and put yourself into these positions.
Yeah, I think some of it's like also I think you figure out pretty early in your life what your avenues toward like any sort of progress or power are going to be in your life. Like, Maddie was like a really, and sometimes those avenues, you purposely shut them down. So like you and Maddie both were great athletes and like really good runners or like could have done lots of sports.
Don't check the record on my
okay. Okay, we won't look at Seneca Valley records, but Maddie was like an amazing athlete.
Yeah, Maddie
and,
was
it's like you get told certain things as a young kid, like, okay, physicality maybe is going to be one of your like avenues toward power. And then some kids will like really bear down on that and they become great athletes or whatever. And then some kids like Maddie are like, okay, that might be one of my avenues, but it's like not in my soul. It's like not what I want to do.
Do you feel like your avenue and soul aligned at a younger age?
I think that was it. It was like, well, I wasn't going to dunk a basketball.
Sure.
I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to be a model. I wasn't going to be an actress. I wasn't going to be, there were all these things that didn't seem very open to me, which now I sort of regret that I thought so many things were closed to me, but it was a different time. So there was a way in which it seemed very obvious that certain pathways to power or agency or freedom were just not going to open for me. I didn't come from money. I didn't have any famous people in my life. There were no like relatives that I thought, oh, probably I'll get a job working for their company.
Yeah.
There was not, I grew up in nowhere, Kansas. And so, the one thing I had was like I really could read a lot of books.
That was your secret talent.
Crush books.
Yeah.
And the librarians really liked me. And I was like, these are my people.
Sure.
I could spend lots of time in libraries. But then, anybody who reads a lot has that sort of miraculous feeling of like their brain expanding. Like you can feel the sort of growth and expansion that comes from like reading a lot, especially as a kid, where you're like learning about the world, or you're learning about history through like a story, or you're understanding like a way of life that you'll never experience, and past or present. And like I just sort of felt a near physical sensation of like being larger in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think when you feel that, you're like, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to access a certain, I don't know how, but it's probably how freedom's going to come to me, or it's how like
Wow.
agency is going to come to me.
This is like in high school, you had this idea that this could be this could be a life. I could be a writer. I could be.
Oh, I think I had that feeling in like third grade.
Really?
I think I really early.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I feel like I wasn't thinking about like any kind of career.
Maybe you felt like you had more choices than I,
Maybe.
maybe people, my guess is a lot of people told you were really smart and could do anything you wanted, which is true.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, which I don't know if that's helpful. It's like, because you're kind of like, sure, I'll be president or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you kind of are just like an idiot.
I'd
like,
vote for you.
Thanks.
I'm perpetuating the problem in your life.
No, but it's like, but you know what I mean? It's like when I feel like when people, and I'm not saying we shouldn't praise kids or whatever, but like if you think you can sort of do anything when you get older, at some point you have to figure out what you enjoy doing day to day. And to have that from such a young age, to be aware that it's a thing, I think probably has benefited you a lot.
Yeah, I think it's like streamlined certain things in my life. I think maybe it's, I think at a younger age, it made me feel as though certain things weren't available to me. Like I think theater is really big. Like I still, as you well know, like I really love the theater so much. And I think at a really young age, it was like, oh, you can't be in theater, and I think it was just sort of a pure...
Now, why do you say that? Like you can't be in theater?
Well, okay, so this is a true story. So I really love theater, and as a kid, theater is like a huge social avenue as well.
Definitely.
And so I really wanted to be in the theater, and then I auditioned. I would have been like 13 at the time.
Okay.
I auditioned for our
I'm scared.
I know
I'm scared.
our high school production of Fiddler on the Roof.
Sure.
Okay. And I really, I don't mean to brag, but I really crushed my audition. Like
What
I was
did you sing?
good.
Do you remember?
I mean, I sang it all, whatever. Like
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever heard you sing. I just realized I was like, I can't picture 13-year-old Chloe just crushing it.
I crushed it.
Sure.
Okay. I was really good. I was dramatic. I made unusual choices in my audition. I took the material to new heights.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. To the roof.
The room was electric. Okay.
What's going on in Kansas on this fateful day?
And I really had this moment of like, I
figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Like
this is a major threshold in my life that I've crossed. And
what was the reality?
I auditioned for the lead of Hava, and I didn't get it. And I got like a townsperson number 8 or something. And because I was 13 and entitled, I went into the director's office of high school and said, "What's up?" Like, you and I both know.
Everyone in that room saw what I did.
Look, come on, look me in the eyes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Tell me.
Yeah.
I didn't crush that. You and I, and he was like, "Look, the lead is a romantic lead, and I don't think anyone will buy you as that."
You're kidding.
No.
At 13?
Yeah, it would have been like 13, 14. And I had this moment of like, unfortunately, this comment hit me at this moment where you're young and you're very vulnerable, where I was like, oh, he must be right. He must know more than I know, and he must be right. And of course, the hilarity of this is like, this is all white kids doing Fiddler on the Roof.
Sure.
Like verisimilitude wasn't quite like the number one. We were like, everyone, but it was really this moment of just sort of like, oh, I probably can't do that. And it felt at that time like there were these rules of how the like later adult world would work, where some people got to do, and it felt very true at that time too. It's like I didn't see any disabled actors anywhere.
Sure.
And now, of course, I feel regretful that I internalized that so deeply.
But how could you not? like at that age, everyone
At that age, yeah.
that is 20 years older than you is like so bright and smart. Like at least that's how I viewed adults.
Yeah.
Every adult, now I'm so much older already than some of the teachers I had in high school. But it's like,
100%.
but yeah, I'd imagine
Yeah.
if someone says something like that to you, you go, well, he's right, or
Yeah.
she's right, or whatever. Yeah, like
And there were no other models. And I think
Yeah.
like, I think about my son now, like I think he would just sort of be like, that doesn't sound right to me. Like I think that that's one thing that I do really appreciate about social media is like so many kids are growing up seeing so many different experiences
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
could
yeah.
never have seen. And my son, I just don't think would have that. I don't think he'd be told that.
Yeah, no.
I think if I heard that he was told that, I would be
I'd
like,
be angry Chloe. at
yeah,
the-
they'd be really angry,
yeah.
Chloe. And
How did your parents react to that?
I don't know if I ever, I
Yeah.
can't remember if I ever told them, honestly. I can't remember. I mean, maybe I did.
Uh-huh.
And my mom probably would have been like, oh, that's an asshole. And then like
Yeah.
lived her life,
Yeah.
But I just like, it hit me at this age in which I really internalized that. And then I was like, oh, that's it for me.
Ugh.
There'll be no theater in my
Yeah.
life. I'll just be an appreciator. Or I'll just really double down on this thing that I genuinely love, which is all under my control, which is
The
writing.
writing, yeah.
And there are no gatekeepers that can tell me that I can't write.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be judged in a purely non-visual way, right? Like nobody will come to my book having like, or anything I write for magazines or whatever, being like, yeah, but you don't have quite the right look for that. It's just like what I could produce.
Sure.
And I think that there's a way in which that limitation, while I hate it, like also forged like utter devotion to my path that I think has actually served me very well.
Was
So,
was
yeah.
there any element of it that was like a revenge narrative in your mind, or was it more of just like, I'm gonna do something that no one can stop? It was just more of like, I control everything. Or was
Yeah, I don't think there was any revenge narrative.
Yeah.
I think it was just like, I don't really want to feel this thing I'm feeling right now ever again. So how can I put myself in a position in which like everything is under a certain type of agency that I know how to manage, which is my intellect and
Sure.
my ability to create like meaning through language. And if I can just hone that, maybe I can become like the best at that, and nobody can take that away. Like nobody can be like, you're not the right fit for this.
Yeah.
They could like my work or not like my
Yeah.
work, but they couldn't like just automatically disqualify me from
That
doing
makes
it,
sense. Yeah.
which is just, yeah, I mean, I think everything is always double-edged, and I think that there was a benefit to that because I think my compass, which was already pretty aimed, became fixed, and it served me very well.
Do you think going through something like that at a young age affects the way you give people kind of like a first impression judgment or a second impression judgment, or does it affect the way you interact with people, having known, and I need to talk about your book in a second, but like having lived a life of being judged in a certain way, does it affect the way you kind of look outward at people? Or
Yeah, I think it did for a long time. And I think having Wolfgang, my son, changed this quite a lot, which is a lot of what my book's about. But I think I looked at every potential new person in my life as a type of labor that I would need to endure. And the labor would be often waiting until that person could get comfortable with my body and like being around me. And some people, that labor like happened very quickly. Like, and I feel as though I could see, and of course I'm often wrong, but people are usually wrong when they think they can read the minds of other people. But I felt as though I could like literally see in the eyes of someone else the second that they forgot that I was disabled. It was
Interesting.
almost like something would come over their face. And I'm sure I'm positive that I imagine much of this or projected much of this, but it was a
But
feeling.
even the projection is as powerful as how you're feeling
Yeah.
in any interaction, I'd imagine.
And in some cases, I think I'm right, but
yeah, sure.
I'm
I
probably
mean,
right.
more than most,
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
imagine.
probably right.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah.
but there's a way. I think most people who go through the world like extremely visually differently, like probably know what I'm talking about. Like this moment where you're like, you can sort of read the body language of someone. You can see whether they look comfortable around
Yeah.
you. And then there's always this point in which they forget. And then like this reeler you is seen.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's actually true of everybody. Like there's always sort of a buffer of like getting through the external into the internal self. And sometimes our external self really works for us and it helps us open doors and makes us very appealing to people. And sometimes it's like, okay, I need you to like get over this until you can see, you know. And I think that for me, that was, I saw every new person in my life, I saw as a chore list of like, okay, all right, you know,
Yeah.
like, do I need to?
But you don't really feel that way anymore, do you? Or are you still?
No, I don't feel that
Yeah.
way anymore. I don't care. I'm too old to care anymore. I'm too tired.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
good place
raising
to
a
be.
teenager. Like I can't. I don't
know.
care. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
I'm so
God.
tired. Like I can't do the labor of like appealing to other people.
Do you? Yeah. Are you thinking about me this way?
I'm not. Yeah,
I
I'm
get
not.
it. I
I'm
get
like
it.
you think about me however you want. Like
Yeah.
you know, because it's. I used to be like, oh, let me do a little tap dance of
Sure.
like charm, or let me like ask you a lot of meaningful questions that I don't actually care about the answers, or let me be really, you know, whatever you need me to be, let me be that thing such
Yeah.
that I can get you to like drop a certain
Thing you're putting
layer
up to
or
fit-
whatever
yeah,
and
yeah.
like see the real me.
But now you're just there. And
Now I'm like,
you're
I'm really have
who
a lot of,
cares?
I have a big job. Like
Yeah, I want to talk about the job. I want to talk about
I
the
have
book.
to read a lot. Like
Yeah.
I have to write. Writing is really hard.
Writing's a nightmare.
It's
Yeah.
a total nightmare. Like creating sentences is really hard. Raising a teenager is really hard.
Yeah.
I've already established I'm married to a maniac.
He's a great, one of the best maniacs I've ever met.
But it's a lot. We're doing a lot.
You're doing a lot of things.
So now I don't care.
yeah.
I don't care.
The key to life is having a child, marrying a maniac, and
Yeah,
trying to
you
write
just
a
get
book.
really busy
Yeah. No, that's
with
wonderful.
like swimming in lakes,
Yeah.
you know, harassing your friends with labor.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
And trying to keep my like the sleeves on my husband's shirts, you know, and then it's like I'm like, oh, that weird, you know, it's like, oh, that person's staring at me in the grocery store. I don't care anymore.
Don't give a
I
shit.
can't care.
That's a healthy place to be.
It's really
It's
nice.
the only way to be. Yeah.
I'm very moved by what you're saying because it's such freedom, emotional, mental freedom, especially hearing like your specific like mindset or what's been fed. I mean, we could all use that freedom to not think so much about what other people are caring about.
I know.
Oh yeah, I
It's,
think
like,
it's like
really
one of the
lovely.
greatest freedoms anybody could attain is freedom from a desire to like
To appease.
seek external validation or people please.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the sooner you can get to that stage of your life, the freer you are.
I think it manifests in me in a way where I don't want everyone to like me. I'm kind of past that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get so nervous that like it can be misconstrued as like coldness or being like an asshole if I'm just not like constantly like I feel like I'm always balancing that. Like I feel like I meet with so many random people all the time and I'm like, oh, I gotta come off as like nice or the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like, it doesn't really, no one thinks about you once you're out the door.
I think that's right. I think number
Yeah.
one, like one of the most freeing things to remember is like literally nobody's thinking about you.
It's such a good thing to keep in mind.
It's like they don't care. You know,
Yeah.
you are a blip.
Yeah.
Even the most embarrassing things that you have done in your life or that I have done in my life that like haunt me,
Sure.
that I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, blip.
Nobody cares. Nobody's thinking about you. But I think though that there is a really crucial difference, especially for someone like you in your position and also someone anybody who wants to like make art,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm a very firm believer that like art of any form is a communicative force that is fundamentally for other people
Mm-hmm.
and is like a generous act when done really well. I think there is a really important difference between people pleasing or like the seeking of external validation and the desire to generously, lovingly like communicate with others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you know how to stay on the right side of that. Like I think what you're
so.
often talking about is like, yeah, it's nice to not, I don't want to be an asshole to anybody. Like
No.
I don't want to be off-putting and I really want my work to connect to other people. Like I really make work for other people as you do as well, which doesn't mean that my work is trying to make people comfortable all the time or is free of challenge or provocation. Like that's not what I mean at all. I just mean
Sure.
it's like I am considering the minds of others
Yeah.
and what I make, but I'm not trapped by the minds of others in the way that I was at a younger age. And I think
Yeah.
that's a line that's really important to me. I think one of the best examples is like kids often stare at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point in my life where I would be like, fuck those kids. I mean, like, I hate your children, you know, like stop staring at you
Sure,
little
sure.
brat, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Because kids will say wild stuff. They'll
Of
be like,
course.
what's that? You know, or like, you know,
Yeah,
and I'll
yeah,
just be
yeah.
like, mind your business, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But then I had a kid and you look at your own child and you're so desperate for the world to like kindly, empathetically educate them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I'm looking at my son's teachers or the people that he's around. Like I just really hope that they'll forgive him his mistakes, that they'll be compassionate and like helping to grow him up in the world. He
Mm-hmm.
just got his first job
At the roller
at
rink.
skate time in Akron, New York. And
I
like
love that so much.
it's so amazing, but I'm so aware that like, he's 14 in a professional setting for the first time. And I'll go around to like everybody, all the adults that he works with, and I'll be like, thank you for co-raising my
Yeah,
child
that's a
with
really-
me. Like
yeah.
you're teaching him how to be in a professional setting, which is more than is actually asked of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful for that I also want to be that
Mm-hmm.
for other people in the world,
Ah.
which is different than being like controlled by their judgments or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I need to have patience, or I want to have patience and empathy for people that may need help
trying to
crossing. Yeah,
understand
trying to
and-
understand,
and-
trying to
yeah.
cross a bridge.
I get the fuck those kids energy though. Like I do get that. Like especially if you're having like a bad day, it's like give me a break. But like,
Sometimes, yeah.
but
Not
it's-
anymore.
It's very,
yeah.
it's very kind to extend a little level of like we're all learning to people. I think that goes a long way.
I think it goes a long way if what you actually want in life is to move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so for me, what I really, really want when it comes to disability is I actually want people to change their worst possible impulses about disability. I want people to think about their own bodies as inevitably, if they get to live long enough, going to
They'll
become
be
disabled.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want them to have like grace for themselves when they're feeling as though their bodies are changing in ways that are scary to them. And I want to be somebody that's like, if you're disabled, like, come on in, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
like
the water's
everything.
warm.
Yeah, like
I'm here
it's
to-
fine.
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
look, I got, everything's fine. I'm swimming in lakes and living a really great life.
Yeah,
like life is
can
fun.
be beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
And
not this
I'm-
thing to be so othered by.
It's not something to be so othered by. It's actually a really unifying thing, really fascinating thing
Uh-huh.
about our bodies and our minds that change. And I like, really want that in this world. And I feel like I don't have much space to affect change in like every sphere, but I might have a little teeny bit of ability to affect space in that sphere. So if I do,
Yeah.
then if I really fundamentally care about moving the needle, then I need to not be like, fuck your children. I need to be like,
There's a time and a place for fuck your children.
to you.
Yeah.
I'll say it to you. I'll
Yeah,
call you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I will hold it in
Yeah, yeah.
and be like, do you have any questions that you want to ask me? Like, you know?
Hello, child.
Hello,
Just
strange
giving him the
child.
finger, bud.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna bitch about this to Matt later, but
Yeah,
hello, and
You're
what, you know.
you're being very humble though about your own, like I think your book Easy Beauty and other things I've read by you, articles or things, I think it's one of the things I genuinely admire about you so much is your honesty about your life and your feelings about your life and your feelings about the people in your life. I'm so in awe of your ability to speak relatively honestly, I think. I mean, I can only know what you tell me in your writing about your life. And I wonder like, where does that come from, your ability to observe the world so accurately and interestingly, but also like feel comfortable saying like things that are going to make you maybe look bad,
Yeah,
or make
yeah.
people in your life look bad. That's something I like, my work, so much of it is so not me. Like doing this is more vulnerable than anything I've ever done, and it's not that crazy, but it's like, how do you reckon with that in your writing as far as feeling comfortable talking about really difficult feelings and emotions?
Okay, I think that it's very common in any sort of personal pursuit to do one of two things, which I think is like this either side of the same coin, which is self-protect so much that everything about you is really perfect and buffed and beautiful and positive. But then I think the other side is also common is like people who are so self-deprecating and they're like, oh, I'm, what a loser I am in this world.
Sure.
And I think that both of those are forms of protection, self-protection that are totally understandable, and our brain wants to self-protect. And we're doing this very vulnerable thing of like putting work out to an audience of strangers. So I get the impulse, but I think number one, it's dishonest, and two, everybody can tell. Like it's embarrassing. Like everybody can tell when you're not being genuine. And readers are so smart. They may not even be able to put their finger on what it is.
But you check out.
But
you like check out mentally. So you're like, this is bullshit. Or I don't. Yeah. I know I do it all the time when I'm reading stuff
I do it all the time. I'm like, you're just not telling me the truth. And or you're not telling me the deepest truth that you're capable of accessing at this moment, which is all a piece of writing can be. I mean, I live longer and hopefully become smarter, so the things that I'm accessing now feel truer than what I could have written a year ago or 5 years ago. But I think that people can really feel on the page when somebody is doing their very best to be honest about whatever they can be honest about. So I think that's one thing. It's like I didn't really want to turn off readers and be like, but I think the other thing that was very important for that particular book, Easy Beauty, is there's such a heavy narrative around disability of like inspiration that that the disabled body ought to be inspirational or aspirational in its spirit.
I love that so much about. Keep going, but I just want to say that was like, because I read it before I met you.
Yeah.
And which was a crazy choice. And tough dinner to try to figure out what to talk.
Oh, what was that first dinner like? Were you like, I know so much about this person?
Yeah, I was super anxious because I was like, I should not know this much about you before meeting you. Anyway, but yeah, but that was my first impression. I was like, I fucking love that this isn't like, we're all going to do it. And our like, it wasn't this like faux inspirational thing about disability. It was like, I can be a piece of shit like anyone else.
Yeah, I can be a real piece of shit.
No offense. But it was like, my feelings are just as complicated as yours, even though my body's different than yours. And I thought that was, to me, immediately, I was hooked. I was like, this is authentic fucking writing. And it really hit for me. Well, sorry, continue.
No, I think that there are these narratives around any number of identities or bodies that are both perpetuated by outside stereotypes, but they're also self-perpetuated sometimes from within a community. And I think that one that has been really pushed on and in some cases embraced by certain writers is like, that disability is a sort of lesson for other able-bodied people to like learn from. And you still see this in so many narratives of like disabled bodies that are introduced in a book or a film. Like, I know they're gonna die by the end, like they're always gonna die, like, oh, the disabled person always dies. And it's like, because that will be this message to like the realer able-bodied person to like embrace their life or live to the fullest.
I see. Like, they couldn't do it because they were disabled. You have to carry the torch for the disabled brethren.
Do it for Owen Meany, or like do it for Beth and Little Women. It's like there's always this sort of that reduces, even if the disabled person is portrayed as like a saint, still is unbelievably reductive to their humanity. So that sort of bubble and that kind of otherness like exists around disability and is so prevalent and has really not been challenged very much in any sort of major, very little bits, maybe more recently, but very rarely. So I knew I was working with that perception of my body. And I remember I had friends that even were like, you're immediately going to have people on your side. People are going to give you the benefit of the doubt. People are going to want you to be good, and like show them how to like, I don't know, like ascend.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
And I thought like, that's not the way that I can convince people to see me as like a real person.
No, I think it's very wise.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why it ascended the, culture in a way and it became a thing. But yeah, it's I know that's not like easy work. So it's like, you got to like dig into yourself.
It's not easy work. And there are things in which people know about you that are like the darker corners of your being, or like really bad mistakes you've made, or times in which you've been selfish, and times in which you've like also really thought uncharitably of others, but then you're asking people to think charitably of you. And it is like a difficult thing, but I do think those are the works that when I read them from other people, or when I see a performer embody those things, I feel like alive, I feel like less alone. I feel like art is actually this very transcendent thing, all these sort of deep, nearly religious feelings that I have about like art's power has only come from those moments in which an artist has let me into those sides of themselves.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to write a book that both did this sort of, I was really thinking about the work that it might do for somebody who had sort of othering beliefs about disability, or whether consciously or unconsciously put disabled bodies in a sort of separate container of thought that exists. So I was thinking about that, but then I was also writing I think this is really all we can do in a way, is like I was also writing the book that I wish my 14-year-old self had access to.
Yeah.
Because like maybe if my 14-year-old self had read this book, like maybe she would have been like, fuck you, I can be in Fiddler on the Roof. I can be the star of Fiddler on the
Village
Roof.
person number 8? Are you
Yeah,
fucking out of your mind?
Look at me, like I'm so
That's very
dynamic.
funny.
I'm
I know.
incredible. So there's a way in which I was like writing to that, like very.
It's not the revenge narrative per se, but it's this thing of like, I want to provide something that I was missing.
Yeah, I want to provide
yeah.
like a piece that I was missing.
I think it's beautiful.
And that maybe somebody else needs.
Yeah.
I really feel like that's all we can do. And I think that's like also part of the difference between like desiring communication without being people pleasing. Like I can't care. Like I don't read my Goodreads, but every once in a while I have a friend that trolls me and sends me like the worst ones, and it'll be like
Cool friend.
It'll be really cool friend. They'll send me something and it'll be like, Fred from Mississippi will be like, this is really not the kind of thing my wife enjoys. Like it'll be always that's like that's my flip side of what you get.
Yeah.
You get the guys who are like, my wife loves you.
You guys are like, my wife does not like
my
you.
wife is a big reader and this is not for her, so
Reading,
and then
we could talk Goodreads audiences forever. I've started looking at it more when I finish a book, and I'm like, some of these people have lost their minds. Like,
it's what my favorite. I don't read mine. I never read mine. I have no desire. I have no curiosity about it. It's one of those freedom things. Like, but
that would be hard for me if I was you. But yeah.
Don't ever do. But if you ever got a little low, if you were ever feeling like you needed a little help,
sort by 5 stars.
No, read the Goodreads reviews of the Bible.
I didn't even know that was an option. I didn't know that was an option to review the Bible.
Yeah, you can review the Bible and it's art.
Sometimes I forget the Bible's a book.
The Bible's a book and people have opinions.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
And it's it's the 1-star reviews on the Bible are incredible. You're just like
fun.
You're like, oh, there are all kinds of people in this world,
Someone's
and I
shitting
don't.
on Matthew. And Mark
they're like, this is a little unbelievable.
Luke is
like,
bad with his sentences.
Yes. They're like, Luke is saying this thing and this thing, but then in another one, he's saying another one. It's a little inconsistent. Who's the copy editor on
John's
this?
prose could be a little punchier.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and you just can be like, that's right. I am free. Like I can release myself from
People
the
have been
voices
criticizing
of the,
writing for centuries.
That's right. Yeah, it's good.
I want to talk more about like literature in general, but we are going to take a second to do a segment called That Sounds Like a Lot. We have our listeners, our viewers, write in some dilemmas that sound like a lot, and we're gonna try to give them some advice, or some just sort of what we think, how we think they could recontextualize their situation and maybe feel better about it.
Are you going to be sincere in your advice?
I'm always sincere.
Oh, you're sincere.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
I mean,
I'm excited.
They don't need us, but
No, I need you. I think you give great advice. I'm excited.
You think?
Definitely.
That's very sweet. Okay, let's get into the first
all right.
one. Producer Rebecca.
Here we go.
What do we got?
I live in New York, and the guy I'm dating still shares a car with his ex. Whenever we want to use it, he has to coordinate with her. I wasn't worried, but now my friends are saying it's a red flag. Should I be concerned? I mean, at least they aren't sharing a dog, right?
Very good one.
In New York City?
Yeah.
That's savvy. That's just smart. Are they sharing alternate side parking?
Well, like my understanding of it is she's dating someone who shares the car with the ex.
Yeah.
that gets complicated if it's like joint ownership. I don't own a car. How does that work?
I actually one of Maddie's good friends shares his car with his ex. So
Oh, we'll break it
this could have been
down.
one of my friends.
This
Yeah.
could not be better.
Well, I think it's in their case, I think
Yeah.
it's a green flag
Yeah?
because
Because why?
parking in the city is very difficult. It's very expensive. You don't
Everyone's
like
always
that.
whining about
Alternate
parking.
side
and-
parking is a real chore
So how does this
and-
solve it by sharing a car with the ex?
because then it's like you take Mondays for alternate side park.
this sounds like a nightmare.
I'm very I'm like, what? I'm like, is there somebody in my life that will take something off my plate? I'm all for it.
Do you park on the street?
I don't do anything. I'm a pearl.
You're a pearl,
Maddie
yeah.
does everything.
Yeah.
I don't touch a car.
Okay.
I just ride in them.
I don't think it's a red flag with this guy that she's seeing, but it depends how like weird, how like, I don't know, like how new this relationship is. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to have to be interacting with the person you're seeing's ex every time you need to like go upstate or take a beach trip.
I guess it's like how's the handoff happening? Are they like
Yes.
texting a little too? I mean, but I guess I'm at an age now where I think it is actually a green flag to be on good terms with
Okay.
your exes.
I think that's fair.
I think there's obvious boundaries
Yeah.
that you could cross or not. Like there are obvious problems, but we didn't get a problem, and it's just a car.
It's just a car.
I think it's classy to be on chill,
What an evolved take. It's
like
classy to share.
respectful
I think it's nice, yes.
terms with your ex.
I feel like modern culture right now is like, fuck my ex. We're never talking again. So it's like,
Yeah.
it is kind of nice to know that you could, share something that's like expensive and important.
Yeah.
and
Also, like I think that for a lot of women, they've met men who are like, my ex is crazy. Like, oh, everything was her fault.
Yeah,
She
that's
did
very
everything
common.
wrong.
Yeah.
And that to me is a massive red flag.
I agree.
So if you have two people who are like genuinely, and there's nothing weird happening, and there's no
yeah.
like boundary crossing, but two people who are like, we tried it, okay? We did our best.
There's
We but look, we braided some things together in our lives.
Yeah.
We got this Subaru. And
We tried it
we
didn't
can't
work, but
we
we've
don't
got
we
this
you know cost of
Forester
living
that-
is we got this Forester. Cost of living is difficult. We can't buy each other out.
Yeah. You're being very generous to the scenario. Like, cost of living's tough. We got to make this work.
Cost of living is tough. Alternate side parking is not conducive to most work hours
Sure,
because it's
sure.
in the middle of your work day.
That means nothing. You're speaking a foreign language. to me.
Renting a car to go upstate is a hassle. You have to go. You think I'm going to go to JFK? Like we break up, and now I'm going to go to JFK
you don't have
to
to go to
rent
JFK
a
to rent a
car.
car. You can go
I don't
to-
even know because I have a car.
Yeah. Wow.
But
My thought is you don't want your relationship to become like it's like enterprise. Like it's pretty much a rental car if you have to like run it by like, does the ex have the car this weekend or can we rent it for the
do
weekend?
they have a cool like maybe Excel sheet in which?
See, now the more you talk about it, it's like it's just
you.
getting dumber and dumber.
No,
It's like,
I'm
I would just spend the
telling you.
$200 and rent a car.
You get an
every now
Excel
and then.
sheet.
No.
You say these are my weeks.
You can't have a shared Google Doc with the girl you're with.
Dude, you
and
don't
your
even
ex.
have to see each other. You don't even see each other. You just have your car. You pick it up.
Check the Google
You
Doc to
know
see if you
which.
can
Yeah,
have the car.
check your Google
Sure.
Doc.
Sure,
You know
why
which is
not?
your week.
Times are
You're
tough.
not even texting. You're not even seeing each other. But
Yeah.
you're sharing a resource. There's one fewer
divided on
vehicle
this, I think.
on the road. Nobody's calling each other crazy. Nobody's being disparaging. There's empathy there. If you can share a large ticket item, like
yeah, there's empathy there. I don't want to deal with more logistics for my getaway of like, you need to talk to your ex to see if we can get the car.
But if you have a Google Doc with clear boundaries, there's no talking. There's no talking.
a Google Doc with clear boundaries. We can't all three. We
you.
can't all three be in the Google Doc at the same time.
Well, like, this is where it gets complicated.
What if you're in the
This
doc
is-
with your ex? Is it cheating?
This is where it gets complicated. What if the new girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm going to say no. What if the new girlfriend is like, I want access to the shared Google Doc.
Oh,
I want to get in on this Google Doc, and then the boyfriend's like, no,
Something-
that Google Doc is just for us. That Subaru is just between us, and then you
there's
don't
stuff
have
going
access.
on in the Google Doc you don't need to see. Yeah.
Then I'm like, it's yellow flag.
What's happening? in
Yeah.
there,
Then I'm
Sexting
starting
in
to
the
get.
Google
Yeah.
Doc.
Like, are we dropping? Like, wish we were. Remember when we
Google Doc commenting on a thing. Remember when we went to Rockaway Beach?
Remember when I would do alternate side parking and you bring me coffee? Sometimes you would just sit in the car next to me and let me recount.
There's something really funny. There's something really
This
funny
episode of
about
The Daily I just
emotional
saw.
cheating in a G Suite product. I think my husband's having an affair in Excel.
Yeah, because when you share a car, alternate side, you don't know about this, but let me put you onto this. When
I
you
can
share,
guess
when you share, a
you
car,
move or remove.
you move a car around, but it could get really romantic because you have this hour and a half in which you have to tend to your car,
A lot can happen in 90 minutes.
and you're like, "Let me bring you a little coffee. Let me
I appreciate what you're doing.
I'll read to you."
Things could. Now we're getting somewhere. We're creating a story where there's a steamy affair happening
Yeah.
while they're waiting for the street
Where they're
sweeper to
waiting for
come
the
by.
treat. Yeah. And then it's like suddenly, Tuesday's your day. And all of a sudden, like everything is like either Tuesday or not Tuesday. You're like
Sure,
waiting
sure.
for Tuesday.
And then Tuesday becomes I get to see
I get to see
Marie again or
Yeah.
whatever.
Then
yeah.
it's getting dicey.
Yeah, I love what we've created though.
So I think as long as the Google Doc is open access, we're fine. We're totally fine.
The world we've created. As long as anyone with link can view, this is permissible.
exactly.
If anyone
Yeah.
with link can view, as a
I
third
think-
party can come in and make sure no funny business is going
I
on.
genuinely think this person should just ask, "Can I get the link? Can I get the link?"
It took us a second, but I think we ultimately
I
got
think
there.
we really converged.
Yeah, we found a safe boundary. Of,
I appreciate you taking my perspective into such deep
I'm always
consideration.
open-minded,
Okay.
yeah. I love the idea of I put something in Google Doc. If
I
you
put
want.
a little.
Don't open it in front of your coworkers. Yeah, put a little something in the Google Doc.
I'm telling you.
Has
it
anyone
could get
ever cheated in a
spicy.
Google Doc? It's very fun.
Yeah, and definitely yes. People are cheating in Google Docs all the time. People are cheating. People are cheating.
Confidence that you're. People,
Sure.
yeah, the
Shared-
horniest place on the internet, Google Docs.
Shared deck presentations.
You hit that deck a little too hard. Shared
You're
deck
like, Steven
presentations.
spends a lot of time on those decks.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I thought they were. No, there's something
I'm in the deck, honey.
little.
Don't come in.
You're putting little inside jokes in your company deck so
Sure.
that when you're presenting, like suddenly you're looking across the board and being like,
Sure. What do you
Yeah.
make of the work husband, work wife thing that people talk about? Have you heard of this?
Oh,
this,
yeah.
This stereotype of thing of like everyone has to have their. I don't think I've really had that before. I feel like I've had like work siblings more than work wife, work husband.
I think it's better to have the person at work that vents and complains the exact same amount as you,
yeah.
which I think that's really precious.
That's a very funny descriptor of like, because
Because-
if they go too much, it's like, God, shut
Shut up.
You're so
Shut
annoying.
up. You're so negative.
But if they have the same cool
It's a-
affect of it all, you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we're on the same page. This sucks, but
if
I'm
it's
not gonna. Yeah.
exactly the right, I
Yeah.
think that is I think that's one of the most beautiful relationships in life.
Being able to
Yeah.
bitch at the right, appropriate amount with someone.
Yeah, and then also like appreciate it the right amount because nobody wants to work with the office Pollyanna
No.
who's like, come on, guys, like let's
Yeah.
give her a break. Like
Yeah.
you're like, come on.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to work all like you don't want to be like. There's always that one person that's
It's
like,
really funny finding the sweet spot
Sweet
of
spot.
like everyone's annoyed that they have to do this thing, but if you're too annoying, it's like you're out of your mind. You're crazy. Leave us
Yeah,
alone. Yeah,
it's
that's
just-
very.
there's always somebody who you're sort of like dodging on the walk to the bathroom.
Yes, yeah.
Because they're gonna bring up something you're like,
Something
I
you
can't
do wanna
take
be-
this on. Like I don't care that the office coffee maker is always like bad coffee. Like I just can't care about
Sure,
it. I
sure,
can't
sure.
take it on.
Sure.
So yes, I have a really amazing work bestie.
Do you?
Yeah, which is
At Columbia?
at Columbia, which is the writer Leslie Jameson,
Oh,
which is
cool.
I feel like my coolest flex
Okay.
because she's a brilliant writer. I don't know if you know her work.
I don't,
Well,
no.
you'd love it.
I was
It's
really trying to skirt through that
incredible.
without you
I
making me
know
say
it's
out loud.
okay. It's all right.
I was
no
trying to
shame
fly
in
under
that.
the radar.
There are a lot of brilliant writers
Yes,
to
yes,
read
yes.
in this
Well, I will
life.
look up Leslie.
We should never be ashamed of who we have or haven't yet read.
Mhm.
But Leslie Jameson is a genius.
Okay.
She's a brilliant professor. She's
Mm-hmm.
an incredible professor.
And you guys have found the sweet
who
spot.
We can just, we're really, we're like, we love our students and we love our job. We're so lucky. And writing is it, but then we'll be like, did you get asked to do that thing? And then we can just shit on one
I
tiny,
don't want to go to that
teeny
panel thing that I got.
'cause, I go like, oh, yeah. And that's really nice.
Yeah, everyone needs it.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Leslie and I can be like, and then we pick it right back up to just like keep it moving, do your work.
Business. That's a good connection. You teach writing at Columbia. Do you feel with the dawn of AI being so prominent in writing and just every field at this point, do you feel like your kids are optimistic about their future? Do you feel like they're using AI in their work? Like, how do you feel about your day to day? Like, if I was in college right now, I'm like, would I be using Chat GPT for everything? I don't know. Like,
Would you?
I don't think so. But in the environment, if everyone I know is like using it on some level, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like I'm trying to think like what I was doing at 19, like what was new technology. And if I was like more like, no, I don't like, it's like, to me, it's almost like Wikipedia. Like how when I was in high school, it was like, you can't use Wikipedia. It's not a real source. And looking back, and I'm like, well, that's crazy. Now, like, I feel like would I have been that way with like AI now, I guess is the equivalent for a 19-year-old in a writing class. Like,
Well, I only teach grad students. I teach in the
Mhm.
MFA. So I think maybe undergrad is different and I don't
Okay.
have as much insight into that. But graduate students at Columbia, like, genuinely really want to learn how to write and they really
Mhm.
want to write better. And so I feel as though AI hasn't totally taken over what work we're all doing. By the time this comes out, maybe I'll be really wrong, but I used to teach at a nursing college. That was like one of my first big full-time jobs where I was teaching nurses, New York City nurses. During COVID, I was there.
during COVID, you were teaching nurses.
I was teaching at a
Writing?
nursing college. Well, so New York City nurses have to get a bachelor's degree within 10 years of getting their RN.
Okay.
So I taught, so bachelor's degree, the BSN is just, it's just, you have to take philosophy, you have to take sociology, you have to take history. And I was the head of the entire humanities program. So I was
Wow.
teaching a version of all of these courses.
Okay. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, this is my secret pass that
This
we
is
haven't
Chloe
gotten
lore
into.
that we haven't touched yet.
into. This is my
So
job.
you're teaching all these
before.
nurses.
So I'm
COVID's,
teaching all these
COVID's running
nurses.
rampant. You're
Yeah,
trying to explain
literally,
like
yeah.
fucking
And these
short story
nurses-
structure.
Yeah, these nurses would do like dosage calculation exams, not through me, but through like our, through
Thank
our
God.
mat. And
Yeah.
I wasn't giving it. And they had to get 100% in the room in order to pass. And you would look at, these exams that these
Wow.
nurses have to do, and you'd be like, this is great
Mhm.
that the standards are so high, that cheating ought to be very difficult, and that we're expecting these because you're going to go and save lives. Nobody cares if you write a book. If you come to the MFA and you want to use ChatGPT to write all of your work, you want to pay money to come to grad school
Yeah,
to have
fair, fair.
like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, please go ahead. You are wasting nobody's time but your own.
Mhm.
And I get paid exactly the same. Like I really don't care. Like, whatever you turn into
if you want to
me,
use this time that way.
if you want, like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you feedback for whatever you give me.
Mhm.
So if you give me one page of writing, but it's earnest and it's come from your soul and you've grappled over it, you're going to get the best feedback that I can give you. If you turn in 25 pages generated by Claude, then I'll give Claude my opinion.
And we're all just running in circles.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
paid
yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I have a very clear job, which is to be on the side of all students.
Mhm.
And whatever they give me, I'm going to give them my honest opinion about. And if they want to waste their own time, potential, and like this incredibly valuable like period of time, you're free. I'm an Enneagram 8, so I'm really all about like.
I'm loving this because I feel like I got a real front row seat to like first class of your lecture first class.
know,
I'm like,
I'm just
whatever
like,
you want to do
I'm
in here
free.
is up to
Yeah,
you. And
you're
I'm like,
free.
I was like taking notes. I was like, I gotta be good for her class. I was like, this is a perfect intro to.
You're free.
Yeah, no,
you
that
want to
makes
waste.
sense.
I'm not your mother, and I'm not your like. I'm here to genuinely talk to you about commas.
So
like passionately. I'm here to talk to you about. And if you
Yeah.
don't want this information, it's totally okay.
Yeah. I've never seen Professor Chloe before.
This
It's
is
very
it.
good. Yeah, I love it.
I'll be like, I will tell you everything that I know
Mm-hmm.
for these set hours every week. And if you don't want it,
But
that's
going
fine.
off this energy,
Yeah.
in a world, especially in America, where it feels like we're sort of devaluing expertise and intelligence sometimes empathy, what role do you think literature and writing play like right now? Like how how do you keep people excited about reading, but more generally about writing? Like it feels like sometimes we're screaming into a void.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is I think my students actually, I can be a little flip about about the AI thing is I really just don't think my students want to use that. I think they really, really, we have incredible students who work so hard, and I think they genuinely want to write great work and they want to read great work. I think the thing that actually sort of scares people is how little people will read in general, whether it's AI generated or a 10-year passion project. Like, it's very, very hard to get people to buy books. Like, people just don't want to buy books. Like, that is the sort of the one thing that feels sort of bleak when I look out at the future of literature. And this, again, may be a very naive thing to say that I regret, 3 days after saying it, but I actually think that whatever readers remain, however
After
few,
they round up all the readers.
the 12 of us and that remain, they want the real. They want real. They want the real thing. Like, I just don't think AI is going to come and replace.
I agree with that. I don't think it's going to like replace Hollywood writers, novelists, but it's more for me of like when people are so bad about engaging in this specific format. I don't know. I just think a lot of the problems we face in this country can almost be traced back to a lack of care about authentic writing and care about real stories.
We might need to integrate reading into.
Where are we going?
Here's the thing I'd really like to do, and I think this podcast could help me, is I would like to reach out to somehow create a coalition between
this podcast is not creating coalitions. I'm sorry.
The literary world and like obsessive longevity influencers.
Oh, the people that are trying to like live forever by like drinking blood and stuff.
Like the billionaires that are trying to live forever by drinking their son's
blood.
Like,
that Venn diagram is,
But Chloé Cooper Jones is gonna maybe
what's
like
the purpose of having the people live forever get into literature?
Because books really, there's tons of evidence that reading actually like creates all these things that are really great for your brain and help your brain function a really long
I see what
time.
You're saying.
So,
but no, this is
so if you really like every time you read, there's a way in which your brain is and your empathy is expanded, which is trackable on fMRI machines. This is not like a woo-woo thing of like you're gonna
more,
grow.
The more you
it's
read,
like,
the more empathy you have as a person.
You also have more neuroplasticity, which creates more resilience and also creates a sort of buffer against dementia and Alzheimer's. So like if you're really trying to keep your brain as strong and healthy as possible. I'm
on it now. I was not with you.
I know, but this is the theme of this podcast. I start over here. You start over there.
I'm a skeptic.
But I'm going to pull,
and I'm a friend, but I'm still a skeptic.
But you're open.
I'm open. I can be convinced almost anything.
We can create progress. So I think if I could just get like,
the beef tallow people
to be like reading literature.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there really are these like neuroscience studies that show that more challenging and literary the work is, the more your brain changes because it has to stretch and it has to expand and it has to imagine like other lives and has to like it's to imagine things that are foreign to it and then it has to integrate those things into its understanding of the world. And every time you do that, your brain actually becomes like more robust and resilient in all these different ways that a neuroscience would speak to much better than I can. But this is true. I've read a lot of this literature and I think it's just like this untapped,
gold mine for happier society. Yeah. I always tell people it's the best thing in my life that I got really into reading like in my 20s. Like it would have just been phone and nothing else, like
there's all this research about like it helps with emotional regulation. It helps with dementia and but also you're hot when you read. So Looksmaxxers, I feel like we get the Looksmaxxers in. Wait. I feel like we could, I don't know how we're going to rope the gropers, but like.
No, not the gropers. Not the gropers. Hold on.
The gropers?
No amount of books
No,
can
we're
fix
not
the
getting
gropers.
them. Okay, you guys are on your own. But I'm trying to flip copies here, okay, Matt? I'm trying to get Easy Beauty in the hands.
Yeah. It's time for predictions.
Let's do predictions.
Okay. We like to end every episode by getting some predictions on the record.
Okay.
So, your first prediction I'm going to ask, and I'll participate too.
Okay, good.
Okay. Who do we think will be president first? A woman or a January 6th rioter?
Oh, a male January 6th rioter?
Yes.
Male January 6th writer.
Yeah, right?
No, easily. Yeah.
Oof, ouch.
Do you have a?
That one hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts,
But I have my eyes are wide open. I know. I mean, I just like, I look who we have chosen over and over again,
Yeah.
except for women. I mean, it's a worst thing.
one thing I keep forgetting is that they're all out there. The rioters, like they're back. In
They're
the
all
world.
out there. They're all getting
Like they all got pardoned. I think. I think like
deals.
deals.
Yeah, they're all like
They're all-
writing books. You know, they're building platforms.
I can't deal
And
with that.
people-
I was telling people to get back into reading.
Plus, a Gen 6 writer there's a very compelling narrative, right? Where they could be like, oh, I was, led along this path and now I see that I need to like pivot to the middle, and this could be very popular, but a woman is still a woman.
I know, isn't it sad?
Yeah, it's really depressing. Yeah, I hate it.
Okay. Do you think people will stop learning to write by hand in our lifetime? Do you think they'll stop teaching it in classes? I think yes.
I think no, because I think it will become, I think what we'll do is the people that still write by hand will make it their personality. Like people that make beer or people who like, are really making everything from scratch. Like I think we'll
Yeah.
swing and they'll be like really beautiful, like penmanship content, like it'll be like cute.
I do like the idea of it kind of being a thing that other people are sort of like.
It'll be like antiquated and cool, and
He
it'll
like
be
writes
like
by
club.
hand. It's like almost
Yeah.
like annoying. Like
and I think that
snobby.
contingent is going to keep it alive
Yeah.
no matter what.
I am such a like tech person in the sense that like I always assume like things will continue to exponentially get stranger. So I could see a world where like kids just have laptops and there aren't like pens. Like everything is done via
Yeah,
like
but I think history's
touch.
always a double. It's always a double trajectory,
Yeah.
where there's always one trajectory going this way, and then there's the rebellious trajectory going the other way.
Yeah.
So I think the more that kids are out of the handwriting thing, the more this little pocket.
The rebels.
The
The
rebels
rebels
are
that are-
like, I'm going all
The rebels
in.
that are drawing with a pencil.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah.
my iPhone is a rock, and I'm going. I feel my son would be part of this contingent.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Wolf's part of the rebels.
Wolf's, yeah, Wolf's like,
Wolf's running with the rebels.
Yeah, yeah.
Which one of us is most likely to move to Florida?
Me.
Yes, I thought so. Too. I don't even know why, but I was like, it's not me.
I would buy a condo on the beach.
That's
tomorrow.
hilarious.
I'd have to get
Yeah.
divorced, but I would from Maddie, but I would do it. Yeah, for sure.
So divorce, Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
I could see the trajectory.
I
Long.
like the ocean.
Yeah. Chloé Cooper Jones, wonderful guest. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
The book,
This is my book.
Easy Beauty. Wonderful. Go buy it. Support authors, writers, literature. Thank you for being here. This was really wonderful.
Thank you, Matt.
You're really
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Yeah.
Yay.
Rest